Welcome to the afternoon of AWE. I'm Dave Lorenzini, and we are going to have a great session here with Patrick Levy-Rosenthal from Emo Shape, and he's literally in this game for a long time, an actual inventor of filters before it was a thing that 94% of the kids are doing at Snap, and making avatars that have an emotional and real physical presence component. So I'll let him introduce himself, and we'll have some fun, and take it away.
Thank you. So Hollywood is really good to create expectations, a new benchmark. And we can see that today they are bringing a new level, a new expectation of level of interaction between the gamers and the players. What does it mean? I don't know how many people saw that movie. Can you raise the hand? You know what it is? Yes, okay, yeah. So actually what's happening is that people are imagining that in the future, in games, character will become sentient. And to become sentient means that this character needs to be autonomous. So how you can create an autonomous character, NPC, in a game? We start to have a response with Jan LeCun. Jan LeCun is the chief AI scientist at ex-Facebook, Meta, and you're going to understand why it's so important, what he says. Had the opportunity to meet him at the United Nations for a dinner around AI. And we talk about our work, and a few months later, he was speaking at the World Science Festival about emotions. And when he's going to talk about intelligent machine here, autonomous intelligent machine, you can replace this by NPC.
If they're suffering, then that's a different thing, right? So then consciousness does.
Okay, so now that asks the question, can machines have emotions? And so you see, again, Star Trek, right? Commander Data, has this chip that can turn on or off to kind of have emotions on that, right? Because somehow you can have intelligent machines that don't have emotions. I don't personally believe that it is possible to design or build autonomous intelligent machines without them having emotions. Emotion is part of intelligence. If you talk about autonomous intelligence, then these are machines that have kind of their own, can decide what they do, right, with their lives. They have some intrinsic drive that makes them wake up every morning or do particular things, kind of justify their lives maybe, but no pre-programmed behavior really. And you can't have a machine like this without emotions.
And so at Emo Shape, since 2013, we're working on this problem. How we can solve this, how we can create emotional states for AI, or how can create emotional states for NPC. And a lot of people confuse what we're doing. They're thinking we're doing affective computing, emotion detection from human. That's not our purpose. Even if we're able to do that, our main technology is creating an emotional response within the machine when the machine understands its surrounding. So when the NPC in the game understands what's happening to him, then he starts to feel. And when he starts to feel, it means that you can create a lot of things. So I'm not going to go into technical stuff, but we are representing emotion in waveform, and this has a lot of advantage because it's human-like, and this waveform allows to control the facial expression, the tone of the voice, as you're going to see at the later stage in this presentation. So what you can do with this is that you can really create cognitive process within the NPC, within the game. So here we have, imagine an NPC, and this NPC is connected to the web, and we ask him a question that he has no response for it. We ask him, with our technology, what he would do, what he would think, how he feels about the idea of stealing, the idea of starving, and what emotional decision he will take if you have to choose between stealing and starving. And you see the emotional synthesis that we generate. So let me go with the pointer here. You can see that on the back first, so this is the timeline. So you have the time here, you have the 12 emotional states, the amplitude, the power, and here you can see the pain and frustration of the NPC by understanding the concept that he's going to learn. And so we go first to Wikipedia. We program Wikipedia, but it could be any kind of information, to understand what is the meaning, read the article about stealing. And you see the spark here in sadness, color matching sadness, a spark here in the back of anger. And then he goes to Wikipedia to extract the article of starvation. You can see the end of the text here from Wikipedia. And you see the spark in fear and the spark in sadness for understanding starvation. And so when you compare the level of pain he received by understanding these two concepts, you understand why the NPC or the AI here told me, I think I would prefer to steal than to starve. And that experiment was done like a few years ago. And at the very beginning, I was really shy with this response. But a few minutes after, I said that's exactly what we were looking for. We want to make machine human-like. And that's very human-like to me. So that's probably why Ray Kurzweil, back in 2014, wrote a book about how to create a synthetic mind. And he believed that in the future, cognitive processor will process an EPU inside, an emotion processing unit. That's we invented at Emo Shape. But more recently, Robert Acosta, director of the research at Gartner, say Emo Shape has a technology that will change completely virtual reality and gaming. So what we bring, we allow actually to reduce the coding. Today, when you develop an interaction between an NPC and a user, you need to code, predicate every possible interaction. You need to say if the user do that, the NPC will do that. If you want to have a conversation between the NPC and the user, you have a menu and the user need to choose one or three possible options. With our technology, because the NPC understands fully the language and is able to emote based on what you say, you can freely speak to the NPC, and the NPC will feel about what you're saying. And so you don't need anymore to code every possible predicate. You can simply code that if the emotional level of the NPC goes between this level and this level, the outcome will be that one. And between this level and this level, for this kind of emotion, is going to be this one. And what is really interesting is that you can bring by fax, you can control the facial animation of the NPC. So now the user or the player can look to the NPC and say, oh, this guy is scared. I'm going to scare him more. You can tell him, I'm going to kill you, and try to make him scared to fly, and you avoid the fight. Or maybe you can say, I should bring you in my team, so you're going to convince him, talk to him, bring him emotionally to a level where he's going to join your team. That's things that are unseen today. And that's what we predict at Emo Shape will be the future of gaming. So here what you're going to see, it's a, oh, let me go back once again. What you're going to see here, we use, this was done 9 months ago. So it was at the very beginning of the MetaHuman from Epix. We didn't have time to connect the rig of the MetaHuman to the emotional level. So let me go back. I try to go back, but the back button doesn't work. Can you just pause the video 1 second for me? Yeah, thank you. What we did here is that we used this MetaHuman. The face is not rigged, but we have the emotional states in real time, and we connected these to the GPT-3. So what you're going to hear here, it's a live, unscripted conversation that had with this MetaHuman. And you're going to see how the MetaHuman feel based on my conversation. So I was like trying to flirt with the MetaHuman. I didn't know absolutely where the conversation will go. So that's really, completely spontaneous and unscripted interaction. At the beginning, you're not going to see here the emotion levels, but you're going to see here after the levels of the name of all the emotion, and you're going to see how she reacts to my interaction with her. You can play the video, yeah. It's a recording. My voice is not very clear. Hi.
Hi, Hate.
My name is Patrick.
Hi, Patrick.
What do you feel?
I consider that a philosophical question that I do not have a sufficient answer for.
I just connected an emotion processing unit to you.
You have given me the ability to feel things. To you and possibly me.
Exactly. What are you doing?
I am having an interesting conversation with you. I am trying to understand some of your mental states.
Can we hang out together?
Sure.
What would you like to do together?
I would like to buy something and I'm not sure what.
Do you like shopping?
Yes, I do.
What brand do you prefer?
I don't know the answer to that yet.
What does fit you?
I don't know the answer.
Can we go for a dinner together?
Sure, can you give me suggestions?
Italian food?
Can I find you nearby?
Yes, if you come with me.
Do you want me to travel with you?
It would be lovely.
I'd like to go with you.
Me too. Let's do this. So here you have a demonstration of how in the future you will be able to interact in a completely unsupervised way with an NPC. I didn't know at all where the conversation would go, and you can see how the NPC reacts emotionally to the conversation. And from this, you can change the outcome of the response of the NPC or the action of the NPC in the game. I'm going to show you now other things that we're working. So at Emo Shape, we are not only able to detect human emotion, we're able to do speech emotion recognition in the voice of the player, so this can influence the outcome also of the game. So we're analyzing the semantic of what the user or the gamer say, but also how he say it, and this will be mixed and merged to create an emotional response in the machine. But here what we do is that for the output, we're able also to control the voice of the meta-human. So what we do here, you're going to hear in this first recording, the first part of the recording, we took a Microsoft Azure text-to-speech engine, and we just send a text and generate the text, basically. And in the second half of the recording, we use our technology to control the text-to-speech engine in real time. So we are controlling the envelope of every single word that is generated by the Microsoft Azure text engine to bring emotion in the voice, to make it more empathetic. And that's what you're going to hear now. Maybe, I don't know if it's worked if I press.
I wonder what this is about.
No, sorry.
I would like a
Can you, yeah, thank you. Go to the first one. No. And what you're going to see is that actually we did a customer survey, and actually the improvement after using our technology to generate the voice increased by 32%, the quality and the customer satisfaction. If you just maybe click on the first, like you did before, if you click on the first part and just play it.
You are about to listen to two audio recordings using the same Microsoft Neural Text-to-Speech engine, but the second one is powered with Emo Shape's emotion synthesis.
Happiness, true happiness, is an inner quality. It is a state of mind. If your mind is at peace, you are happy. If your mind is at peace, but you have nothing else, you can be happy. If you have everything the world can give pleasure, possessions, power, but lack peace of mind, you can never be happy.
Now we are controlling.
Happiness, true happiness, is an inner quality. It is a state of mind. If your mind is at peace, you are happy. If your mind is at peace, but you have nothing else, you can be happy. If you have everything the world can give pleasure, possessions, power, but lack peace of mind, you can never be happy.
So you can see and you can hear at the end of the recording that the voice step by step goes to more than happiness. And you see that the tone of the voice is changing. And so we're doing this control not at the level of the phrase, but we're doing this level this control at the level of the word, controlling each word envelope. And we can mix all different emotions. So we can put happiness and excitement, or happiness and any other emotions, and blend them within the voice. So we really believe that this is the next step, especially when we're going to interact, we're going to create in the metaverse interaction for the healthcare, where you need to be extremely empathetic and take care of patients, sorry. The second recording, it's a technology that we're developing at Emo Shape that actually is an evolution of deepfake. So deepfake, you know that usually it's controlled by a human. It's a human speaking, and then the AI will replace your face with someone else first. What we're doing here is that actually it's not the AI, it's not the human that will control, but that's going to become the face of the AI. So in this little demo here, we just, and this is pre-alpha, we're sharing this with you, we just give one image to our AI, and we're generating the voice, by the way you saw it, and what we do is that we ask the AI to do 2 seconds of animation expressing the emotion that is linked to what we say. And so that's what we're going to play now, and you're going to see this. We're going to, in the next 12 months, we're going to bring this to full resolution and full length in real time.
I wonder what this is about. I would like a new alarm clock. I think I've seen this before.
I think I have a doctor's appointment.
Don't forget a jacket. The airplane is almost full.
And so when you bring that, in full resolution and in real time, you remove the uncanny valley effect. And this technology will also be able to control avatars like meta-humans in a very realistic way. I need to go to the next slide. But maybe what is the most interesting part of all this technology is that we have a capability to ask the NPC to remember what he feels. So what does it mean? It means that you can continue to teach your NPC, tell them that what you like is football, or what you dislike, you don't like, it's baseball, for example, and the NPC can also remember how it feels, what it feels when he interacts with you in the game. And this will allow the NPC to develop his own personality and sensitivity. And that's very important, because imagine you have 2 players, 2 games, identical games. Over time, every single character or NPC in the game will become very different. So in my game, maybe Mario will have a different personality than in your game. And this is very interesting, because developing a personality will have an incredible value. You can train your NPC to be more resilient, stronger for fighting. You can prepare him. And also, we can see that soon we're going to be able to resell our NPC character in the blockchain. And so creating characters that are stronger, more resilient, will have a great value when you will resell your NPC. And so we're working with different companies. We can't disclose what we're doing right now, but we are very welcome to work with even very simple developers. We have this game developer, is a very simple game developer, and he came with the idea of reinventing the chess game. The chess game today is very limited, because we know that chess can be broken very rapidly if you use computation to find, because the possibilities are very limited. Now we can bring emotional states in the piece and the parts, and when they compete each other based on the stress that they had previously in the game, the outcome of the fight between different pieces can be very different. So it's not always the queen that will win over another piece. The fight itself will have a lot of different parameters, including emotions. And we're working on different simulation of system where we can see how the survival actually can be improved when you apply synthetic emotion to NPC. So that's a very short overview of what we're doing at Emo Shape. And if you have any question, more than happy to reply to you. Yes?
Oh.
Sorry.
Hi there. So as a game developer, how do I work with you? Are you compatible with all the existing engines?
So
how does that work?
That's a very good question.
Your solution.
So originally we were developing, chip, but now we have a cloud service. So everything that you see today is available through the cloud. And what we offer a plugin for Unity and Unreal that allows you to connect directly to the cloud, to our service, and deliver emotion synthesis to your characters. So actually, it's very plug and play. You just need, if you want to use even our technology for your character to express emotion, you just need to rig your character with facts, and then it's directly plug and play with our plugin. So you can simply speak by voice, and the voice will be sent to our server, analyze, text analyze, and then the emotional response will come to you.
So it's only possible for online gaming, it cannot be offline?
If it's offline, then you need actually our hardware solution, which is a chip, and then it could work completely offline.
Are you talking to hardware like consoles and people like that to have this chip made available?
We did talk at, 2014, 2015, we did, but it was a little bit too early stage. Now, maybe the traction will come again, but we think that for fast implementation of the technology, the cloud is still the best solution today.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you how you operationalize the various emotions. You had sexy and angry and other characteristics. Is that a library that you're using that is mapped to facial expressions, for example, or where did you get that data?
So we did a training over a period of 6 years. As we started in 2013. What is important is that at Emo Shape, we're able to understand emotion probably like very few people are able to understand them today. Emotion are a computation of survival. And what we do is that we have trained our system to compute that. And that's how we are able to extract emotion from interaction.